So LURSSEN is a shipbuilder that has been building ships since 1875. We're still in the same hands of one family, the fourth generation. And we've been building yachts actually throughout the 20th century. And of course now in the new century in a bigger way, as a consistent development of what we were doing at the end of the century. And so typically when a client comes to us, he or she has a fair amount of experience already. Should there not be that experience, we're quite happy to try to offer experiences that we have heard from other clients. But typically when they have this experience, we try to translate that which they want and have learned from using boats into something that is specifically only for them. So if you look at this boat here, it was made for a family that has been using boats for many, many years, and this is the result of their ideas at that moment in their life. And now using this boat, they will probably grow into other things they do and hopefully do another boat. Who knows? This is Project Kali, now called Haven, and she was delivered this year. And I am told by the owner's people that the owner is using it a lot and is very, very happy. There's a lot of things on boats that are particular, but it has a very, very powerful interior design by RWD, and the exterior, which is designed by our in-house designer Jim, is a little bit different than most boats of this length because there's a deck missing, so to speak, and that gives her her very, very special look. She looks long and low, and therefore it's very hard to identify how big she really is when you see her, unless you see somebody standing on the boat at a distance, or if somebody tells you how big she is. I think American clients are really not different than most of our other clients, because the yacht is about a certain amount, a form of lifestyle on the water. We design the boats together with the designers of the client, but the engineering works of the boat, and we would try to create something that allows their family, they and their family and their friends, to have the most unbelievable experience. But it's the best thing you can do with your time, because everything stops around you and you can completely relax. And for families, that is a very valuable time, which today we rarely see anymore. So I think that is something, that is the common thread with most clients, to create that environment that is safe. There are things about the lifestyle of how the boat is used. So Americans tend to look for a boat that has a little bit shallower draft, because they like to cruise in areas close to the United States that have a little bit less draft. But otherwise, it's quite typical about the lifestyle on a boat. It's always very difficult to make a selection of who you work together to do a boat. Of course, it's built up over time. Relationships last the test of time. But it's also very dangerous to sit back and relax and think, okay, this is how it works. So we always try to inject in the discussion when we develop a new boat the things that we have learned in the meantime, whether it's technological. Actually, it's mostly technological, because lifestyle is not our cup of tea, really. We concentrate on what the boat does. So we try to bring into the discussion today that which is a very popular topic, which is sustainability. And we try to bring awareness to the client that there are many things you can do today that reinforce the sustainability. And we spend a lot of money doing research, and the result of that is that we're actually building a boat now that has a fuel cell that runs on hydrogen that is reformed from methanol, and that has 1 megawatt. It's quite a lot of energy, which allows that boat to do about 1,000 miles of cruising, or about 3 weeks at anchor with no generator running. And that would effectively put you into zero emission mode. Yeah? It's a very dangerous thing to talk about. That boat will be ready at the end of next year, and that is the result of such an interaction between the client and ourselves to bring forward what is possible today and develop yachting into the modern day. Yeah, but as a shipyard, we do our bit. I think the industry is quite active as well. So a lot of different companies are researching in different areas, and as are our contractors that build the elements that go on the boat. And all those improvements we have to try to bring together. So, and I think it's our duty to continue to do so, and to tell the clients what the opportunities are It's up to the client to decide what the right mix is and how far you want to go in what is new technology, maybe not entirely unproven. And you want to make sure that the experience on board is seamless, that you can be on board without any downtime. And generally there's a trend to try to find things that are proven technology. And we try to push that envelope all the time. I think it is in our DNA, and we are incapable of building a standard product because we have this element in us to try to do what is right for that specific project or this specific client. And that is from the beginning. So the first application of a combustion engine on a boat was on a LURSSEN, on a boat called the Rems on a river, together with Gottlieb Daimler. And we actually wanted to be the first shipyard to no longer have it be necessary on the boat. Well, let's see if it works, but it will happen eventually, because what is happening with cars, what is happening in our lives around us, and this awareness that we have to be more careful with the things that we do. We've always been careful, but the technology is now helping us to be able to do more things that we weren't able to do in the past. And that will continue. Like I said, we're going to we're building and we're going to deliver next year a fuel cell, a boat that is partially powered by a fuel cell, and it's a project called Cosmos. You may have seen it somewhere. I think that is a big step, and there are projects we are working on that hopefully would take that bar even a little bit higher, so more and more reliance on fuel cell technology and less on the combustion engine to create a proper mix.